Hi, Will from MusicTech here at the NAMM show in Anaheim with Oscar from PreSonus. Oscar, how are you doing?
Hey, doing great.
Excellent.
Thanks for being here.
What have you got here?
Sure. You make it look like I did something wrong.
Yeah.
What have you got here? We have our brand new Atom from PreSonus. So the Atom is our production controller. It can be used with any digital audio workstation, but of course it's going to have that special sauce with Studio One. Since PreSonus is Studio One, everything is all integrated from a hardware and software standpoint. So what we were really going for with Atom is the ability to take your initial concepts, ideas for a song, get them in there quickly, and then you're able to expand on that with the power of Studio One.
Okay, so let's jump in then. Let's see what it can do.
Absolutely, and we really wanted to shoot for trying to do as much as you can from the Atom itself versus having to jump back and forth between the mouse. Now don't get me wrong, there are some great things that you can still do with mouse and keyboard, but when you're playing an instrument, you want to have that instrument in front of you at all times and have that connection with it. So even if it's a simple thing like going through, opening up the browser over here on the right-hand side by tapping my pad, and then basically just selecting an instrument. So I can go through and say, okay, I would like the Impact XT instrument. I can open up my folder that has different presets in it. Once I find something I like, I can hit the select button. Once I hit select, it's going to drop that particular plugin on a track, ready to go. All the samples are loaded. And you'll also notice that the colors here match whatever the pad colors are.
Okay, so that's all reflected on the hardware. Great.
Exactly, and this is key because this way you always know, well, my kicks are always red. My snares are always yellow.
Each to their own.
Yeah, exactly, whatever you'd like them to be. But as you switch from preset to preset, that same mechanism still stays in place, so you can know exactly where those are at. Basically.
Great, so as a producer, composer, what are the ways that this is going to help me create?
Sure. Well, I usually find that there's two different types of people out there. There are the type of people that like to play live and record live, meaning that they're going to go through and record everything in real time as they're going across. But then there's also a set of people that like to go through and program that in. Maybe they're not as coordinated. So basically, what we can do here is in the Studio One timeline, I'm going to drop in basically a pattern, right? So I can do that here from the Atom. I can go through and select this pad here, and now you notice we have a pattern up here.
Okay.
So I'm going to loop that area so that I can work on it as it loops back and forth, or cycles. I'll turn my looping on. So now when I hit play, it'll continually loop. So what I want to do now is go into my editor, and as I bring up the editor, you can see all the samples for that particular plugin that we just had up.
Okay.
So we have our kick, our snares, our claps, etc. And I know it's hard to see on camera, but there's a small brighter LED that goes across that mimics each step that's going, right?
Right.
So let's say I wanted to do something simple, maybe just a 4 on the floor kick. I could do my 4 on the floor. And maybe I wanted to go through and add in a snare on beats 2 and 4. I can select my snare. Maybe I wanted to add hi-hat to this one and begin programming really quickly. So maybe for somebody that doesn't have the skill set yet to go through and play and record everything live, it's just as easy to use Studio One's pattern editor to step sequence your beats.
And you didn't once reach over to the keyboard and the mouse, that was all done on the Atom?
All done on the Atom itself. So once again, it's about staying in that flow and keeping with your instrument.
And are these velocity or pressure sensitive as well, these pads?
Yeah, both of them actually. So they're velocity sensitive, meaning that as I got it on full level right now. So the harder I hit it, the louder it's going to be. But they're also pressure sensitive too. So let's say on this hi-hat sample, if I go into note repeat, so the more pressure I give it, the softer it gets. As I leave it up, the louder it gets as well too.
Okay, great. And how does this integrate with other software then, outside of the Studio One ecosystem?
Sure, absolutely. Outside of Studio One, it's basically a really responsive, great performance MIDI controller, regardless if you're using Ableton Live, Logic, Cubase,
and
whatever.
do these keys correspond to functions within those pieces of software?
It's really going to be dependent on the software itself.
Right.
We find the easiest thing to do is just to assign them via MIDI.
Right.
in whatever
Okay.
application that you're using.
Okay, so how much will this cost, or how much does it cost, and when's it available?
$149 US,
Yep.
it's available now.
Fantastic. Oscar, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And I should mention that when you buy Atom, it comes with Studio One Artist as well too.
Oh, okay, and that will have Impact XT in it as well, so you can do all those
exactly.
cool bits and pieces.
So it comes
Drum
with the
Machine.
software and you're pretty much good to go.
Fantastic, thank
Great.
you.
Yeah, thank you.